Hey everybody, I'm Zee Garcia, and today we're going to be sending out our ninja in order to reap the rewards using not just strength, but sometimes stealth in Kodachi. Kodachi here is a card game version slash reworking or sequel, if you would, to Ninjato here. A board game from a few years ago in which you were doing basically the same thing. Sending out your ninjas to go to different houses and use strength or skill or stealth in order to break in, push your luck, gather goods, run away, and then use those goods to gather victory points, special effects, things like that. In the card game, you're getting a lot of that same feeling, same effect, but it has just a few tokens and a couple of decks of cards. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this. If you are interested, by the way, in seeing a comparison of these, I'll be getting around to that. I'm going to do a video comparing the two if you want to see that. But for right now, I got to review this first. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. I'll come back after that. I'll tell you what I think. In the game, you are trying to get the most victory points possible, and you're going to be making those victory points by attacking these different houses represented by the deck of cards here and defeating their characters, their guards, with your ninja cards here. Everybody starts with an identical deck of cards, which includes mainly number cards, 1 through 5s, and also a couple of these 3-value cards that also happen to have a special ability that you can play the card for instead of playing it as a 3-value card. Let me go ahead and switch this up here. And I'm going to be the start player. I am giving the Shuriken token here. So the first thing I do is I flip one card from each deck like this. And the bottom card is the character I need to fight. The top card is a possible reward. And so the very first choice I must make is, do I go in and attack with stealth, in which case I set this to this side and leave it there, or do I go in with strength? What the different sides mean is, do I need to play lower than or higher than the character here, respectively, all right? So I flipped over a 5. Here it says with strength or stealth, I need to beat a 5. So I'm going to choose, obviously, stealth. And this is what my hand looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and play a 2. I discard that 2 next to my draw pile here, and I've defeated that character. I can choose to continue going. Let's say, and again, I know I'm cheating here, but we're just going to do this. Let's say I want to keep going. I flip over the next one, and I flip over this one, and I fight this character now. And I am going to discard a 1, and I'm going to modify that 1 with my special 3 card that lets me add or subtract 1 from my play, making this a 0. I defeat that character. And again, I can choose to keep going, but I got to consider what I'm holding here. So I'm going to push my luck. I'm going to flip 1 more and 1 more here, and I'm going to discard my 1. I defeat that character, and I could keep going, but it's a red card, and the red cards are stronger guards. They are more dangerous. They sometimes force you to play. They represent 2 characters, so you have to defeat 2 people at once, or they have really tough values that you need to deal with. So I'm going to stop right now. I've won this round. I did not bust, okay? And now I'm going to take cards. You always are now going to take from everything available 1 fewer than the number of characters you defeated to a minimum of 1. So if I defeat 1 or 2 characters here, I can take any 1 card. If I defeat 3, which I did, I'll take any 2 cards. These at the bottom are going to give me some income, something I can spend. So a fan, a scroll, a fan. The ones at the top give me some special powers, as well as a number of victory points in the top corner, but they have a cost as well across the bottom. So for example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, and that's again, I have that income, I have that available to me, and I'm immediately going to spend it to take one of these 2, which have a cost of any one thing. I'm going to go ahead and take this one. I take it, I put it right into my hand, and then after I've taken cards, every other player around the table gets to take 1 card. So let's say player 2 takes that one, and player 3 takes that one. Once that's done, these are discarded. I pass the shuriken to the next player. I make sure that I refill my hand. I can discard if I so choose, and then draw back up to 6. and it is the next player's turn in which they reveal one from each. In this case here, they have a single character they have to fight, but they have to beat a 2 if they're doing so with stealth. They have to beat a 4 if they're doing so with strength. So it's not a single value that works for both. It actually splits them, all right? But it's still one character. And then they go through it, selecting how they want to go in, going through multiple fights. If you lose, i.e. you flip one over and cannot beat it, you don't take anything. The other players still take one card. Then we discard. And this continues. Once it comes back around to me, I'll get the shuriken and I'll decide what I'm doing with these cards in my hand. My new one here that I just purchased gives me 2 victory points at the end of the game. It lets me modify another card by 1, up or down, same deal. But when I play it, I also draw a card. So that's very good, very strong card there. A lot of these are going to have a bunch of different abilities with which to score. They are going to give me unique powers. Like this one here can be a 1 or a 5 when I play it. This one here lets me switch from stealth to strength or vice versa in the middle of a fight. Things like that. But some of them have these symbols here at the top. And these symbols, when I play this card and beat someone with that card, it lets me take the matching token from over here. So for example, this card worth 6 victory points, it's a 3, it has a green symbol. If I play it and I beat something with it, I'm going to take this top token and I'm going to keep it. That's going to be worth some points. The next one's better, and the next one after that, better still. So the game's typically going to be over when some of these have run out. At that point, you count up all your score, all your victory point making cards, as well as these. These are going to give you victory points in your hand, and you are going to count everything, including your discard pile. By the way, when your discard pile, or rather your deck, runs out, you will shuffle your discard pile into a new deck and continue going. So yes, this is a deck building game of sorts, though when you buy cards, they go right into your hand, which is not typical of a lot of deck building games. So you can use those things right away. And that's pretty much the idea. I'll show you a couple more of the special cards here, the strong guardians. As I said, sometimes they are a single guardian with 2 split values, but sometimes they are 2 guardians, such as this one. You have to fight a 3 and a 5, however you want, however you happen to be fighting, strength or stealth. But you have to defeat both in a single go. And they do give you, whoever drafts this card is going to get a gold, and that gold is wild towards any of these costs. So that's a very strong card there. So there you go. That's a general idea. Push your luck. Make sure you're managing your hand correctly. Grab the right things. Turn them into the right cards. Try to get the most victory points. And focus on some of these that score based on other cards. Focus on the right ones. This one, for example, 1 victory point for every purple card. So it itself is 1 point. But if I have more of them, they'll be worth more and more victory points, of course. So that should give you an idea of how the whole thing works. Let's go back up top. Let me tell you what I think of it. All right, so that is Kodachi. Let's break it down. I overall really like this game. I already was a fan of the original board game here. This is my copy of the game. But I have to say, I think if I had to pick one, I think I like the card game better. It manages to do, I don't want to say it does more with fewer components, but I think it does as much with considerably fewer components. And that's impressive. It really retains the feel of the original game, which is a feeling I like. So let's break it down. There's only one thing I thought could have been improved, and that is the aesthetics in the game. A lot of the artwork is carried over from the original game, but so is a lot of the graphic design, and it feels dated. It feels a little basic. It feels a little dated. I would have liked some graphical improvements to have been employed, especially on some of like the cards that score based off of other cards. Some of their graphic designs a little, again, basic, I think. Everything else I really enjoy. The theme, I think, is fantastic. I like this idea of strength versus stealth. I like the way that the theme comes through just a couple of decks of cards, and it works well. So I enjoy that theme. The replayability, it's good because it's got good variability from play to play. So the longevity of the game, I think, is high, you know. I've enjoyed, almost immediately you're going to start buying cards and make your deck different, your hand different, and how you tackle things. The special powers that you rely upon are going to make you feel unique, or at least somewhat distinct, from the other players around the table. And I like that. And you don't have to wait around for that. You don't have to buy a card, put it in your discard pile, wait till you cycle out your deck. You've got that card right now. You can use that very next turn. So I like that it manages to get going with that stuff, you know. Game length. It did not feel long. The box says 45 minutes. Didn't feel that long to me, but part of that I think is because you are involved on every turn. You will draft something every turn, and that really helps it. I think it's better with fewer anyway, honestly. I think it's a great two-player game, good with 3. 4, yes, you could have a turn come around, you flip, you know, you lose on your first or second fight. Probably not your first fight. You lose on, you know, the second fight, let's say, and you're done. So you might, sit there for a while till everybody else has their go. But you're still going to be taking some things. You're still going to be involved. And honestly, since it's a push your luck game, you're going to be involved into that, you know, watching what other people are doing. Do they get away with stuff anyway? So I don't think the game length here is problematic. Ease of play. It's got a good player aid, which I didn't show you, but it's a good player aid, showing you all the symbology and everything. And while that suffers a little bit compared to the original game because they crammed many elements onto one card, I think halfway through your first game, you should really not have any questions at all. It is well put together from that point of view. Lastly, tactics and strategy and all that. It's a push your luck card game. I think it manages to do that extremely well. It's fun pushing your luck in this game. It's fun getting away with stuff. Combos are fun. Managing to put together a hand of cards to destroy what you've got in front of you. That's great. And yeah, there's some luck because, you know, it's a card game, but there's a surprising amount of, you know, ability to modify what you can do. Like, for example, when you buy the card, they go in your hand. I said that. But you also get to discard whatever you want before you draw up at the end of your turn. And I like that. You cannot modify the characters coming up, you know, that you cannot mess with. But everything else that is within your control, I enjoy. I think it's a good balance between tactically reacting to what's going on and luck of a card game. So overall, I was very impressed with this one. I really enjoyed it, like I said, and I personally think it's better than the board game. So this is going to get a strong seal of approval from me, Kodachi here. If you're looking for a solidly themed, fun, push your luck card game that has a little more under the hood than the usual push your luck games out there, then I think this is one that's going to be in your wheelhouse. Again, stay tuned for a comparison of these coming soon. But as of right now, again, strong seal of approval here for Kodachi. That's it for me, everybody. I'm Zee Garcia, and I'll see you on the next one.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com.